Let's discuss about the what are the factors which are mainly affecting on the rate of the reaction. So here the rate of reaction mainly depends upon the concentration of the reactants and nature of the reactants, temperature and the catalyst. So this will place in the role of the rate of the reaction. So in that one, first we are going to study about the effect of concentration on the reactants, on the rate of the reactants. So what will happen in this reaction? Let's discuss about this one here. So here you know this one, the rate of reaction, you are familiar with already these terms. The rate of reaction which is directly proportional to the concentration of the reactant, right? So if this rate is directly proportional to the concentration of the reactants, as the concentration of the reactant goes on increases, this rate of reaction also increases. So for this one, now I am going to consider a general equation for this one. So that is called So here the small letter A, B, C, D are their stoichiometric coefficients of the reactants A and B, as well as the C and D. These are the products will be there. So these are the coefficient. These C and D are the capital C and D are the products, and capital A and B are the reactants. Now I am going to apply the law of mass action. So what do you mean by this law of mass action? It tells that according to the law of mass of action, the rate that must be rate, we are going to write it as this small letter R. Rate that must be directly proportional to the concentration of the reactant. Concentration of the reactant, that is called law of mass action. When we are going to apply the law of mass action to this equation, this reaction, what happens? This rate which directly proportional to the two reactants will be there. So that's why the products of the concentration of the product of the, why because product? Because two reactants will be there. That's why the product of the concentration of the two reactants with respect to their coefficient. So this is called the applying, when you apply the law of mass action, we are going to write like this, right? And I am going to remove this proportional constant, that is called R is equal to small letter k, that as it is will be there. These are similar concentration of the reactants I am going to write here. What do you mean by this? K is nothing but the rate constant. So this value we are going to call as a theoretical value. So this value should be theoretical value. Now I am going to denote it as number 1. Now I am going to write this in the form of the experimental value, that is equal to R is equal to small letter k, that is called rate constant. When I remove this proportional constant, so therefore the concentration of the reactant, two reactants, that is called M and N I am going to write here. So this is called an experimental value. This is called experimental, this is called theoretical value. And here these powers M and N, they may be equal or may not be equal to this one A and B. So that is called the experimental value. That is called rate law expression. We are going to call this equation to be as the rate law expression. What do you mean by this rate law expression? Let's discuss here. Definition tells that in which the reaction rate is given in terms of the molar concentration. So these are the molar concentration that is given in terms of molar concentration of the reactants. Yes, two reactants will be there with each turn to some power. This is called some power which may or may not be, equal to the stoichiometric coefficient. What are the stoichiometric coefficient here? So here small letter A and small letter B. Here small letter A and small letter B, these are the stoichiometric coefficient, and the experimental value, that is M and N. So these values either equal or may not be equal. Either equal to this stoichiometric coefficient A and B or may not be equal. So that is called rate law expression, that is obtained from the experimental value. And what about this one? This K we are going to call as the rate constant. This we are going to call as the rate constant. What do you mean by this rate constant? So now I am going to take an R is equal to, when I take the concentration of reactant A and B, this concentration of reactant A and B, that I am going to equate in 1. I am going to put in the value is equal to 1. Now what happens? That becomes R is equal to A. That is rate is equal to rate constant N. And when I am going to apply the concentration of the two reactants, that I am going to equate into 1. That is called R is equal to A. Where this K is called rate constant, where R is called rate of the reaction. So let's take definition of this one. Rate constant A, that tells that the rate of a reaction the rate of, this is called small letter, that is rate of reaction when molar concentration of all the reactants, this is called molar concentration of all the reactants in the rate equation or unity. Unity means value 1, that we are going to call as the rate constant. Let's discuss about the second factor, that is called nature of the reactants. So this nature of reactant factor is very different from all other factors, because so I am going to understand this topic. I am going to take in two reactions, that is called zinc metal. I am going to the zinc metal which is going to be dropped in the water molecules. We are going to obtain the zinc hydroxide along with hydrogen gas. It is called bubbles will be going to be formed here. So this is when zinc is dropped in water molecules, zinc hydroxide as well as hydrogen gas is evolved here. And also I am taking one more reaction. It is called sodium metal. And in the sodium metal I am going to take the water molecules, 2 times of the water molecules. What we are going to obtain here, that is called sodium hydroxide. Here also I am going to obtain the sodium hydroxide and hydrogen gas is going to be evolved here. So when you look at these reactions, the reactants, what is the main nature of the reactant here? Here I am going to use zinc metal and this is also sodium metal. Both are comes under the metal. But while comparing to this zinc and sodium, so this reaction is very faster than this one. Why the sodium metal is the reaction is very fast compared to this one? So because nothing will be there in that term. So that is called zinc hydroxide is formed here, and here also sodium hydroxide is formed here. Hydrogen gas is evolved, and here also hydrogen gas is evolved. Then what is the difference here? We are going to see. But why it is going very faster compared to this one? So because of the nature of the reactants. What type of nature of reactants you are going to see here? That is called sodium metal. Sodium metal which comes under the alkali metals. Alkali metals means first group elements. In the first group elements, what happens? This sodium, it is containing the atomic number 11. So in order to stable this one, it is going to lose us one electron. It is going to lose us one electron. Then it becomes Na plus. Right? So here the ionization energy will be rolling here. That is called, when in the 11 electrons will be there. The ionization energy means the amount of energy is required to remove the outermost electron. So here it requires very less ionization energy for this sodium metal. But this simple. If you apply very small energy, we are going to remove the outermost electron to get it stable. But what about the zinc metal? So in zinc metal, so it is valence will be zinc 2 plus will be there. That is called, I am going to remove the 2 electron from this zinc metal. So it requires more ionization energy. It requires more ionization energy compared to the sodium metal. So and also the bubbles after this hydrogen gas will be forming on the sodium metal, surface of the sodium metal, that gives a hissing sound, that is called fizzing sound. But what about here? This hydrogen gas which forms on the surface of this zinc metal, that is also simple sound will be there, but here it makes a more sound because sodium is an highly electropositive compared to the zinc metal. So that's why this type of nature of the reactants we are going to observe in the factors that affect the rate of the reaction. Let's discuss about the third factor that is also very important here. So that is called temperature. That is called temperature. So you know very well this one. So the rate of reaction that affecting by the temperature also very important here. So as the temperature increases, the rate of the reaction also increases here. So according to collision theory, what tells that? So the reactants means in the reactants the molecules will be there. They are going to be colliding here, right? So if I take the reactant here, these are the molecules. When they are going to be colliding here. So for this collide we require some energy. So these molecules require some kinetic energy, right? So what happens? To require the kinetic energy, we are going to apply some temperature here, right? We are going to apply the temperature. What happens? They are immediately fast. The reaction will take place fast because after each molecule is acquiring the energy, they start to work very fast. Then collision will takes place will be very more. So then the product formation will be, we are going to obtain here very fast also because of the temperature. When you increase the temperature, the rate of reaction also goes on increases. In terms of the lower temperature, consumption of time means it requires very lot of time to complete the reaction. So that's why temperature is also one of the factors that increases the rate of the reaction. Let's discuss about the fourth factor, that is called catalyst. So this is also enhances the rate of the reaction. Catalyst means in the presence of this catalyst, the rate of reaction will be increases here. So for this one, I am going to take a simple organic reaction, that is called conversion of this one aldehyde to ethanol. Addition of this hydrogen towards this aldehyde group, so it requires a catalyst called palladium or nickel catalyst. So in the absence of this catalyst also, the product we are going to obtain here, but this reaction in the absence of the catalyst, it requires very much time. So that's why to enhance or to minimize the overcome from this low reaction, we are going to apply the catalyst, that is called palladium. So when you apply this palladium catalyst, so the rate of reaction goes on increases. So that's why catalyst also plays a very important role on the enhances the rate of the reaction. Let's discuss about the order of the reaction. So that can be defined as the sum of the powers of the concentration terms in the experimentally determined rate equation. So to understand this one, let's take a simple reaction, that is called reactant A plus B, that gives rise to C plus D. When you apply the rate of the reaction here, that is R is equal to K. K means rate constant. So that is called next concentration of the two reactants, product of the concentration of the two reactants here. So according to the definition, it tells that it is defined as the sum of the powers of the concentration term. What is the sum of this one? Powers of the power. What is the power of the reactant A? That is coefficient. Then 1 will be there, right? So that is called 1, 1. So we are going to adding the sum of the powers. Sum of the powers means we are should look at this one only. 1 plus 1. Sum of the powers of the concentration term, that gives us to 2. Hence the order of the reaction for this simple reaction will be 2. Like this we are going to understand this one. So based on this one, let's study about the first one, that is called first order reaction. First order reaction. So first order reaction means what you get, the sum of the powers that containing the value is 1. So that's why we are going to take the only one reactant, that is example calcium carbonate. This is a single reactant that gives rise to combustion CaO plus CO2, carbon dioxide. What is the rate of the reactant here? It is containing the only one, right? Therefore rate is equal to rate constant into what is the concentration of the reactant? CaCO3. What is the coefficient here? Nothing will be there, that becomes 1. Therefore the order of the reaction here, it is only 1 will be there. So that way this type of reaction we are going to call as the first order reaction. Let's take one more example, that is called N2O5, nitrogen pentoxide. We are going to obtain here N2O3 plus O2. So what is here? Rate R is equal to rate constant into concentration of the reactant N2O5. What is this coefficient? Nothing will be there. It becomes 1. So that's why this comes under the first order reaction. Let's take the another one simple, that is called second order reaction. What will be the second order reaction? Therefore the sum of the powers of the concentration that comes to the 2. Let's take an example here. Hydrogen gas plus iodine gas. After combination, we are going to call the hydrogen iodide gas. So when you apply the rate of the reaction, that is R is equal to K means rate constant, and here two reactant will be there. Therefore the product of the concentration of the two reactants should be there. That is called iodine gas. What is the coefficient? Nothing will be there, means 1. Here also 1 will be there. Therefore 1, 1. What is the order of the reaction? This one. That is we are going to add the powers. We are going to add the sum of the powers. That becomes order of reaction should be 2 for this reaction. Also you can take one more example, that is called ester group CH3 COO C2 H5 plus hydrolysis NaOH. We are going to obtain the CH3 COO Na plus remaining C2 H5OH. So here the rate of the reaction, that is R is equal to K into the concentration of the two reactants, that is called CH3 COO C2 H5 into concentration of the one more reactant, that is called NaOH. What is the power here? Sum of the powers, that becomes 2. Hence this type of the reaction comes under the second order reaction. So let us discuss about the third one, that is called third order reaction. Third order reaction. Let's take the example for this one, third order reaction. Combination of 2NO plus O2. We are going to obtain the 2NO2. So now we are going to apply the rate equation, that is R is equal to K. K means rate constant of this reaction. That is, you should consider the concentration of the two reactants, that is called NO, and concentration of the oxygen. So let's look at this power here. So that is what first we should consider the coefficient. What is the coefficient of this reactant NO? That is containing the 2. And what is the coefficient of this oxygen? That nothing will be there, means that becomes 1 only. So the order of the reaction is sum of the powers of the concentration of the terms. That is called 2 plus 1. That becomes 3. So that's why. So when the sum of the powers comes to the 3, that becomes third order reaction. So this is about the order of the reactions. Let's discuss about the units of the rate constant. So in order to find out the unit of the rate constant, we are going to consider the nth order reaction. So that is called NA, that gives us to product P. Product P. When you apply the rate equation for this reaction, that is R is equal to K, small letter K, that is called rate constant into what is the concentration of the reactant A, that is what is the coefficient here, N means that comes under the power, right? K power N. So now what we are going to require here? We are going to require the K means rate constant. Therefore rate constant is equal to K is equal to R divided by R means rate, right? So rate, that is nothing but the R divided by concentration of N. Right, so we are going to write as rate or R, right? Therefore K is equal to rate. You know this one, rate means rate of the reaction. We are going to measure in terms of the concentration per term, right? Rate means concentration per time. Concentration per time divided by, here A is nothing but the, that is nothing but the concentration, right? So therefore concentration power N here. So now K is equal to, so look at this one, concentration per time means, now I am going to write it as per time means time inverse will be there, time power minus 1, and this is concentration, because rate will be always measured the concentration per time. Per time is time inverse or time power minus 1, and concentration. When this denominator, this goes to the numerator, that becomes, here power will be 1 for the concentration. When it goes to the numerator, that becomes 1 minus n. For the concentration power 1 minus n, because in the denominator it is in the positive n, and it goes to numerator, that becomes minus n, and this time will be as it is, time minus 1. Therefore rate constant K is equal to, concentration is, that is nothing but the mole per liter, it is mole per liter power 1 minus n into time power minus 1. So this is the unit of the rate constant. You should always keep in mind that this is a general for the nth order. When you consider the nth order reaction, so this is called rate constant, that K is equal to mole per liter power 1 minus n into time inverse. So let's apply the here for all the reactions, that is 0 order, first order, second order. Let's take here what is the value of n. We should take here one column, that is value of n, and what is the order here? Order we are going to check here, order, and also unit of the rate constant, that is rate constant K is equal to, so that is mole per liter power 1 minus n and time power minus 1. So this is the column, we should take it here. So now we are going to apply here value of n. So first 0th order, that is 0. When you apply n is equal to 0 means that is called 0 order reaction. When n is equal to 0, that type of reaction we are going to call as 0 order reaction. So here where n is equal to 0, when you put the n is equal to 0, now the rate constant becomes K is equal to mole per liter 1 minus n means 0, that becomes power 1 only, because 1 minus n is equal to 0, 1 minus 0 means 1, this will be as it is, time minus 1. This is for the 0th order reaction. What about the n is equal to 1? When n is equal to 1, that is called first order reaction. It is called first order reaction. When you apply the n is equal to 1 here, 1 minus 1 becomes 0. That means A power 0 means 1 will be there. Therefore, its units would be per time, or we are going to call as it per second. We are going to call as per second or per minute, per time, anything. For the second order, that is n is equal to second order reaction, when it is per mole liter per second. So this is about the rate constant. How to find out the rate constant unit for the all type of the order of the reaction.